Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty interesting stuff going on over here when it comes to the brand new PlayStation 5 that actually had a really big annoying issue that I was someone who was actually affected by this whenever I was trying to go and play my console. So it actually did go get fixed with this brand new beta update, and as well, we had some pretty crazy Xbox news where a lot of folks are kind of running to the hills, and thankfully it's not true, but a lot of folks were worried that Xbox was literally shutting down, and as well, we have some pretty big news when it comes to Square Enix too as well, where they're just not doing so hot. So a lot of random little news stories go wind down for the night, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below, and of course we have Target and Amazon links where the God of War consoles are now fully available down below. So let's dive into the news. So there's a little bit of an interesting one to go and cover on over here, where if you guys have missed it with the brand new PlayStation 5 beta update, there's a lot of quality of life updates, a lot of different types of other things also tied on in, and well, it's kind of cool because they're fixing one of the bigger major issues. So if you guys have never seen this over here, there's been a kind of long ongoing issue being in regards to 120 hertz plus supported games on PlayStation 5 in general. So if you guys don't know for whatever reason, basically the new kind of edge of the past few years is if you go from a 60 hertz or 60 frames, and then some certain games based on the PlayStation 5's performance, or even things on your PC or whatever, can sometimes go for higher frames and higher hertz. So like right now, my good example is I have a 144 hertz monitor, so that means that my game can go up to a higher frame rate, and that basically just kind of looks like a smoother viewing experience. But there's an article over here from 7 months ago, kind of going and highlighting the fact that this has been an ongoing issue for a very long time, where they have the monitor strobing and flickering, or basically playing on the 120 hertz supported games on the PS5. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know about performance mode too, and this basically means that anyone who is using more of a higher end monitor, or as well as someone who may have had these things possibly affected by like VRR, basically this implementation of all this brand new stuff should make it so this basically your console and your monitor are going to have a lot less issues. There's things like flickering. A lot of people reporting issues with this on certain games. They want to mention this over here where you have a problem when playing games that offer 120 hertz support. It's basically any game that offers like a nice performance mode. Specifically, they mentioned Spider-Man Remastered and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. And then when playing those two games specifically, the monitor will start strobing or flickering non-stop, and the issue still remains even after quitting the game. So basically, it was making all these TVs that were higher hertz. Same thing with also gaming monitors too, like myself reflected on this one, and that was just basically making this whole issue all over the place. And this is also like even for Gigabyte over here too, where you guys can see this like LCD monitor flicker issue has been reported on by proper websites with other monitors and everything all in between too as well. And they also got basically mentioned over here too is that this is all to the HDMI VRR, which this is all now being fixed as of the most recent beta as we've been seeing reported. Support might cause flicker on the IPS monitors running at 120 hertz and above when graphics mode is switched to the fidelity mode. The flicker is caused by physical limitation on the IPS panels, and then users are advised to change the graphics mode default settings to performance mode to avoid these issues. So basically we're seeing this has been documented. We know it's over here. Astro's Playroom, Call of Duties, Deathloop, Destiny, Dirt, Godfall, Marvel, Spider-Man's, Ratchet & Clank's, and all these other various games too as well. So basically it's anything that was using the old prior PS5 firmware. So as we mentioned, this is now a brand new update where the PS5 Beta 2.7.0 basically update fixes the screen flickering when VRR is running in fidelity mode with unlocked frame rates too. So it's very nice to go and see this. We're seeing a lot more issues, as you even can see on the comments. People were even noticing this on The Last of Us remake, and there is a lot of various PlayStation games and people utilizing the VRR and better monitors, and anyone who's kind of running more modern equipment has had actually now a chance to go and fix this. So just want to go and highlight this because this is one of those small niche things that happen that I myself was affected by. So maybe you guys, if you guys are using gaming monitors or having a higher hertz TV, or maybe sometimes you just have a issue maybe with VRR or they're 1440p support, we can totally see from there is just, well, the making sure issues in the first place, so keep that in mind. Now, that's actually really cool. I love seeing this, and I love seeing these updates coming from Sony. But as well, some updates that people aren't happy about potentially was on the Xbox 360 store. Now, basically, Xbox had a doomsday period where a lot of folks were assuming, based on some news, which was over here, saying that the Xbox 360 was potentially going and shut down. So we saw this going viral. We saw this on Twitter and everything in between, where basically it had this thing coming out saying, Xbox 360 Marketplace update. We will be closing the Xbox 360 Marketplace over the next year, so we encourage you to purchase any 360 games or DLC by May 23rd. Now, this actually went public, and a lot of folks were freaking out about it. There's a lot of tweets, a lot of mentions, a lot of articles, and everyone was very afraid because, well, if you have an old classic Xbox 360, that's basically an end of an era and basically makes it so you just can't buy games, support games. You also have to do like that mad dash to get all the last few games you need to, well, obviously go and play them and utilize them and enjoy them and everything in between. So people were upset. People were scared. And I myself, I was pretty active on the 360 days myself. So seeing all of this and seeing all of everyone being worried kind of made me have like those fun flashbacks of like, dang, I miss my 360 days. I miss playing with the buds and everything all in between. So as we went and we saw all of this, people were worried, but thankfully we did actually have an official update where the PlayStation or Xbox 360 store won't be closing down, despite what the Xbox supports page says, thankfully enough. So people crisis averted, at least as of the second. They may still shut it down at some point, or maybe they'll still maybe push it back based on like community reception, but they did go and say this message was posted in error, and we can confirm the Xbox 360 marketplace will not close in May 2023. Microsoft will not be closing down the Xbox 360 marketplace, the company tells The Verge, even though text on the official Xbox support page indicated this was the plan. Earlier this week, Microsoft said it would be pulling many of the beloved games like Jet Set Radio and the Orange Box, like Portal, etc., from the 360 store on February 7th. That was disappointing enough, but thanks to Wario 2, we saw the text on the support page that said the company planned to shutter the 360 marketplace over the next year, too, as well as I just showed you guys with this picture over there. Thankfully, though, they did go and say this was a mistake. According to the Xbox Global Product Marketing Manager, Bree Adams, this message was posted in error, and we can confirm the Xbox 360 marketplace will not close in May 2023. Adams sent a statement as a reminder, beginning in February 7th, 2023, a limited set of games, add-ons, and in-game content will no longer be purchasable in select markets via the Xbox 360 store. So we are still worried, though, because there may still be like a potential shutdown and them ending this in the near future, but at least as of right now, thankfully, it's still going to be staying up for at least a little bit of time. Also, this was such a good time back in the day. I missed my 360 days. Now, for kind of a big last update over here, Square Enix, one of the biggest gaming companies in the world, is announcing declining financial results, planning multiple new games, though, including new IPs. So really sad news to see the fact that they're not doing so hot, but new IPs, very cool for the consumer. So today, Square Enix announced its financial results for the first 9 months of the fiscal year related to the period between April and December 2022. Sales were 255 million yen, down 6.6 year on year. Operating income was on, basically also down for 17% year on year. So basically, they're just not turning any money at all, which is very scary. In the table below, you'll notice that the profit attribution to owners of parent is actually positive year on year. That's to the 9.5 million gain from the sale of Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and more to Embracer. If you guys missed it, like basically Square Enix sold a lot of their popular IPs to other various good game companies too as well. And you guys can look through all the full year statements when it comes to all these numbers. Look at the digital entertainment unit, which includes video games. Net sales were down 13% year on year, and while operating income was also down 21%. So they were losing quite a bit of money and more just compared to other prior years. And it does kind of seem like this big bubble of video games and entertainment is going down. Sales of HD games, non-gas games for consoles, failed to reach the level of the previous years despite the launch of multiple new games. During the previous fiscal year, Square Enix launched titles like Nier, Replicant, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Outriders, and this year's games just basically weren't as good as all those games out there. A drop in the MMO segment was to be expected, as well as Final Fantasy may also be doing. It's hard to compete against the quarter of the previous financial year, which basically Square Enix released a highly acclaimed and extremely profitable Endwalker expansion. So basically even the MMO has been doing phenomenal as of last year, and so it's really hard to compete with that afterwards. So smartphone and browser games also suffered from weak performance of existing titles, contributing significantly to the decline in sales. That being said, we hear that Square Enix has multiple new titles planned, including titles featuring new IPs, which, with all the stuff, with all the money going down the drain and the economy kind of slowing down and game consumers kind of going down as well, seeing new IPs could be good as long as they're actually good games, but sometimes they may have a little bit more sketchiness, such as a good example for Spoken. So with no expansions are planned for the MMO segment and for the short term, the company will focus on retaining users through a variety of operational initiatives. As for browser and smartphone games, the company has additional titles slated for the launch of Q4 and beyond. So it just kind of seems like they're also going to try to focus on the nice, huge mobile moments over here too as well. And of course, you guys can also see just kind of units shown over here. You guys can see like in disc, Asia, North America, Japan, etc., and go look through all their fiscal results. So It's kind of been crazy because we've been seeing the gaming industry kind of taking a little bit of a hit so far. It's not the biggest hit. It just kind of shows in how big 2020 and 2021 were when it comes to, well, on how big gaming and everything was in between. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Make sure you guys just give me your thoughts and comments down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We'll have a few more videos all throughout this weekend. We have the Twitter links down below. We have the Target links down below. We have the Amazon links down below where you guys could pick up your God of War consoles. They are all currently on sale and available if you guys want to check those on out. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.